Man, probably the most mysterious species on our planet. A mystery of unanswered questions. Who are we? Where do we come from? Where are we going? How do we know what we think we know? Why do we believe anything at all? Countless questions in search of an answer that will give rise to a new question. And the next question will raise the next question, and so on. But in the end, isn't it always the same question? And always the same answer? The ball is round, the game lasts 90 minutes. That's a fact. Everything else is pure theory. Here we go. Alright, so I have some time before my big 20,000 subscriber special, so to help get in the time travel mood, let's take a look at Lola Run, also known as Run Lola Run for English audiences. I've referenced this in previous videos, but it's a very unique film, so I feel it deserves its own discussion. It's a 1998 German film about a redhead named Lola, played by the beautiful Franca Potente, whose deadbeat boyfriend gets in trouble after losing a large amount of money belonging to an organized crime boss. So needing an insane amount of money, and with her man's life on the line, Lola springs into action, running across Berlin seeking some way to save her lover Manny from his own idiocy. Along the way she encounters various citizens of the city, seeing each of their fates as she passes them by. Seems like a very simple plot, but there's a twist, and huge spoiler alert here guys. You really should watch the movie first and then this review, because I really can't talk about this movie without spoiling some of what makes it so awesome. Just know that it's won over 20 awards and has my personal recommendation. Alright, so now that the kids have left the room, she wastes time trying to get the money from her banker father, and as a result ends up being too late in getting to Manny, who attempts a robbery out of desperation. Lola arrives on the scene and is accidentally shot down by an officer. Well then. Once again, this was Fade just playing. Here's where it gets cool. So as Lola lay on the pavement, she remembers a talk she had with Manny about the nature of their relationship. She says stop, and we find ourselves back at Lola's apartment, at the beginning of the plot again. So we essentially watch the same movie over, but with some slight and not so slight differences, as Lola fights the clock by running her cute little butt across the city frantically trying to save Manny. I was introduced to this film around the time of its release, and 15 years later it still remains a movie that I can watch over and over. I featured clips of this film heavily in my top 5 time travel films video as an honorable mention, and really this movie is on par with anything on that list. I'm sure there's lots of alternate timelines where it's on there, maybe even as number 1. At this point it should probably go without saying that I absolutely love this film on so many levels. First and foremost, the concept is complex, and that gets you thinking, but it's simple enough to allow you to suspend your disbelief and enjoy the ride. The frantic pacing and kinetic flow of the editing matches the pumping 90s techno-pop soundtrack perfectly, helping the film to build momentum as we progress through more runs. Following the differences between runs is a lot of fun, and I find myself still noticing new details on each watch-through. I also love Lola's character. Not only is she beautiful and has a great butt, but her dedication to the frosted tip douche nozzle Manny is nothing short of amazing. I don't know what it is with that guy, but I get the feeling that Lola is too good for him. Despite that, she is unwaveringly loyal to him throughout the entire film. And if I can be sappy for a second, the idea that love can transcend the boundaries of space and time is a pretty romantic notion, and I don't think it's been done better than here. I'm not alone in my love of this film either. As mentioned, this movie has won many awards and international acclaim. It's also been widely analyzed, from a filmmaking perspective to the physics of the time travel in the film, down to mapping Lola's route through Berlin and estimating her land speed, which according to the internet is about 48 kilometers per hour by the way. So if you haven't seen it yet and you're still watching this review for some reason, go check it out. And if you have seen it, why not take another run? I guess you could also comment, like, and subscribe, or not, whatever, we're pretty casual around here. Anyway, as always, this is, was, and always will be Fade Dragon Tier. Thanks for watching. Peace out.